Hello, it's BTP Liam here. Today we're out in sort of Rochford, Southend area, at the London Southend Airport, and around it, checking out World War II pillboxes. Our pillboxes were used in World War II for defence by the Home Guard to shoot Nazi Germans as they came to invade, as it was inevitable that they would do around 1940, 1941, although they never did, which was pretty damn lucky. So on the site of Southend Airport today used to be Rochford airfield, which has existed since World War I, and that's why it's such a heavily defended spot. So we're here at a pillbox. It's got like concrete, it's made of concrete. The idea is it stopped most like minor explosions. And we're on the GHQ line, which is like the first line of defence on the East British coast. So it looks a little bit grimy in here, but still fairly cool. The floor is like coated in some sort of squashy fabric. But it's pretty cool. You can see it's made out of like what they would have done to make this. Might be better on the outside, but they would have got like wooden panels. You can see quite clearly on the ceiling like the wood grain and the lines between the panels. When it's made, they'd make this mould out of wood, pour the concrete in, and then they'd peel the wood off after. And that's why you've got lines from where the concrete's come between the wood. So we've got on here the loopholes, which are basically firing slits, and when you think of a pillbox, you'd imagine like a massive machine gun to be shooting away out of it, like Saving Private Ryan or something. But on the British defence, it wasn't quite like that. Really, you just have like a one-man rifle, or perhaps like a sort of light machine gun. Shooting out, but nothing too big really, mainly sort of rifles. So it wouldn't have been, you know, I suppose the idea was it was a strong point and it would have been hard to get the Home Guard out of here so you could move on. But actually, for shooting enemies, it wouldn't have been that good. But I mean, clearly it's good defence. You know, you're going to have a tough time destroying this. So you can see that we've got like the metal shuttering in there from the like that would obviously offered some extra strengthening. You can see that it's really quite thick actually, which is surprising because usually it's only one layer of metal in a lot of pillboxes. So I'm guessing that would have offered a lot of resistance. And why is that? Well, that is because if you're going to shoot the man, you're obviously going to try and shoot through the hole. So that's going to be the area you want to be defending against most. And also on here you can sort of see the lines I was explaining about earlier of when it was created and moulded from where the wooden panels would have been. So there's plenty more we've got to check out. Now I've explained to you what pillbox was used for. We're going to go and just have an explore of the different types within this area. We've even got some interesting cantilever ones, which are like set into the ground, so we can check them out. Walking along one of the roads and we've come across this Anderson shelter. Anderson shelters were like a really cheap air raid shelter. A lot of people got them, like most civilians got them to erect in their gardens, and you'd erect them out of just the corrugated iron sheets and using earth and digging really. You'd get instructions, and here it looks like one of them. Probably is, knowing that this used to be an airfield. We've just found it on the roadside, so we're going to see if we can have a better look at it, but we might not be able to. Right, so we've gotten onto the other side of the shelter. Now it could be an Anderson shelter, although it could just be a corrugated iron shed. It's hard to tell really, but we're going to include it anyway. If you can help us out with identifying it, then please do. Now of course, because they were a kit rather than they came as a kit, then they're not all going to be identical, although it doesn't have a drop on the floor, and I thought that they had like a bit of dip inside for sort of extra bomb proofing. This one doesn't have that, so well, it doesn't appear to, so it could just be a shed someone's made. But it does look old enough to be an Anderson. It's just I thought they were set lower into the ground. So we're here at a cantilever pillbox, and basically what they are, they're sort of like sunken pillbox into the ground, and they've got like a runner around the outside which you'd have your machine gun on, which I'm guessing like would swivel around. This one, unfortunately, the slit that goes around it has been filled up with sort of concrete blocks, it looks like, but there's some further later on that aren't sealed up we can check out.
But I think it was intentionally
it's put like underground, I suppose, for defence. I suppose like the slit is just above ground level, so it would have been a good disguise. Here we have what looks like an airfield building from the old Rochford airfield. Not sure of the date of it, but it does look old. So, and it is right on the site, so it could well be an old building. Right,
can you
so
smell?
we're in here. Smells pretty urine-like. Here we are, it's pretty cool. Looks to me like the golfers have just taken one. In fact, you can see the fresh stain right on the floor, so it's pretty horrible. But, you know, it's quite a good pillbox. Being on the golf course, I suppose it means it's in fairly good condition now. It's quite well protected. But, yeah, as we say, internally, it's a little bit grim. But we're going to have a look around the outside of it now. So we're on Rochford Golf Course for this one. Made quite a nice way around actually, the route's gone quite well. Should be a few more in some fields further up as well. Right, so as you can see, this one, although I said it's now in good condition because it's on the golf course site, before this golf course was here, before this golf course was kept well, then I reckon it suffered quite a bit of damage, because you can see all the brickwork here has come off, and you can see the brickwork has pretty much all gone around it. On the other sides, it's probably the most complete side. But going back to earlier, what I was saying about the concrete moulding, where some of them had like the wooden panels, and they were cast in concrete alone, and then the panels were stripped off. This one, however, was with bricks instead of wooden panels, and that's why the bricks are on here. So basically the bricks were made as the mould, then the concrete was poured into the bricks, but obviously because bricks offer a little bit more protection, then they didn't remove them, unlike the wooden panelling. So basically there are two types of how pillboxes were made, and we've seen an example of each one today. Hello, so we're inside one of these cantilever pillboxes, similar to the one we saw earlier, but it's not bricked up. It's in really good condition actually, excellent condition this, quite clean inside. And basically you've got like this wall in the middle here, and that would stop. What that would stop, obviously like, now quite obviously it's quite open, and if someone's going to shoot in through the side, then if you imagine the bullet is going to go all the way across. So, you know, it's got quite a good chance of hitting someone. Obviously this wall is going to stop it. So really, the wall is sort of probably making, you know, it basically means like half as many people can get shot from bullets coming in. Now you've got this sort of rail here, metal rail, still there. It's coming off like some of the walls in places, but in others it's bolted in. And this would be for swivelling your gun. I'd assume probably like a Bren-like machine gun. Something would have a sort of mount onto that, and it would be able to screw in, and then it would be able to rotate around the pillbox. So it's really quite an effective defence really, you know, you've got a 360 view apart from the back door. So, you know, it's really effective. I suppose the only thing holding the roof up is the bit in the middle, but I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. So you can see it from the outside that it clearly keeps a low profile, and it would be hard to spot for invaders. You know, really you're firing from ground level, because obviously your bottom half of your body is going to be pretty much underground. There's obviously no chance a bullet's going to get through the earth or the soil. You've got really good protection there, and a 360 view, so I think these are really good pillboxes really. There's another one over in that direction we're going to have a look at, which appears to be a similar kind of sunk-in pillbox, a bit different though. I think there's two others, one over there and one over there, so it's a lot within this area. I think it's really good condition this though. It doesn't seem to have been subject to much local vandalism either. Right, so now this bunker, it doesn't look like, it's not a pillbox, whatever it is, because it's got no firing slits, so it's not for shooting enemies to stop invasion. What it probably is, it could be an air raid shelter. Remember, we are on the site of the Rochford airfield, so it could be an air raid shelter. It could be some sort of observation post, like an outpost of some sort, or some sort of communications post. It goes down quite a long way under the ground, so it probably is I would have thought some sort of air raid shelter, because you've got the earth protecting it. It's got these sort of interesting steps that go down it. It's quite cool, but it's obviously not got the intent of stopping invaders. So inside we've got this sort of three-way Y-shaped like blast wall in the middle, and this sort of sections off the pillbox. If a grenade got chucked in through one of the windows, which is probably the best way to get enemies out of the pillbox, and then basically two men in here, they might die, but the people on the other side don't, because this wall's there to stop it. The grenade is probably the best way to get people out of a pillbox, not to blow them up, but simply because if a grenade comes in, you're going to want to get out as quick as possible, and then the idea is when they all come out, you're going to shoot them. So it's quite a brutal, you know, thing really. It would have been a pretty tough fight had we been invaded, which was, you know, like I say, inevitable, although fortunately, which is extremely unlikely, but we did manage to get away with it. This Germans decided to change their tactics and that, and the Battle of Britain was not a success for the Germans. But had it have been, then the country, you know, everyone would have been having to fight. So, that side there. This pillbox is quite similar to the first one on our venture. It's got the same concrete wooden panel moulding, and it's also quite similar with the 2 loopholes either side of the door, and yeah, so it's quite a good pillbox. It's good condition as well.
Yeah, and that sums up our visit for today. We've walked a fair way. We've passed a number of pillboxes, all of which have been in quite good condition, and it's been a good walk. And that concludes this video.
See you later.